Bere, you will not die. It's a legalized fornication. Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is a chit chat. This is me chatting with you guys, and I'm here to tell you the most ridiculous analogy I've heard in my entire life. This is worse. Like, if there is a Guinness World Record for a ridiculous or the craziest analogy, then this one deserves it. Before we start, we have to, let's say, set the scene. There is a need for setting, right? So let's start. Story time. I followed my daddy to Igbobi Hospital to see his doctor this very day, and I have to wait outside for him. So while I was waiting outside, I heard something. There were two people seated, a man and a woman, and this man said something. They were generally discussing and gisting, and it's not like I was concentrating on their conversation, but there are just some things that God wants you to hear, and that very day God wants me to hear, and I heard. And it was, women are so inconsiderate, or rather selfish, for wanting a man to want them only. I don't exactly know how I'm going to put it, but in short, or basically, what he said was that it is inconsiderate for a woman to want to be the only wife a man has, when as a woman we have multiple kids and we love all of them. Why can't a man marry more than one wife and still love all of them? You are probably as shocked as I am, or even more shocked than I am. The same way you are this shocked is the same way I was shocked that day. I had to take a pause. JJly, I was reading my novel on my phone. I was minding my business. We didn't have to take a break. You know, those kind of things that you hear, and it takes the grace of God. It takes every form of self-control you have for you to just, hold your lips and not say anything. That was me that day. I was boiling inside. Like, who the hell compares childbearing? Excuse me. Who the hell compares childbearing with marrying women? How does it even correlate? Well, how is it related? Sorry, but like every time I want to tell somebody this, or I want to discuss with someone, I'm always so angry because I'm trying to make it make sense. Because sometimes when you do 1 plus 1, it gives you 11. It can even give you 100. But can 1 plus 1 possibly give you 4? Even for people that do this advanced mathematics, binary, whatever it is that they do, I do not know. But like 1 plus 1 can possibly not give you 4. So yes, I heard it, and I'm like, what? I have to tell someone this. I have to discuss this with people, and that is why I'm here today. So come and discuss it with you guys, so you can hear. You can also give your opinions on what you think about this analogy. Because if I was given the chance to ask this man questions, I would have asked him, how does these two things relate? How does it make sense to you? Where did this come from? How did it come into your head? Where did you get it from? There are a lot of questions that needs to be answered, because I know that when it comes to marrying more women as Muslim men, which is allowed and 4 is the maximum, there are always a lot of excuses they give, right? For them to be able to marry more than, people will surely ask you when you go, oh, I want to have more than one wife, oh, I'm polygamous in nature, oh, I practice polygyny, oh, it is not a people would definitely question. In fact, if the whole world is not questioning you, I'm sure that some women will question, and I'm part of those women that will question you, because I do not know what your problem is. Sorry, but like, I will still question you. Why I think this logic is really, really bad, because you're using this logic. If you're going to be using this logic to justify a lot of things, then we're going to be doing a lot of stupid things that doesn't even make sense. I'm not here to preach to you, and I'm not here to give sermon, but obviously when you're talking about issues like this and you are a Muslim, you have to like point out some certain things. I know it is said that a man is allowed to marry more than one woman, but then it is based on certain conditions. It is not just like something that is free for all. It is not just something that you just do for doing sake, just because you can. It is something that are bounded by strict rules, that if you cannot follow them, it is advisable that you stay away from it. And as at the time when it was said that men can marry more than one woman, they can marry up to 4 women, it is also because of some things that happened as at the time, husbands going to war and them not coming back, and they need people to cater for them, to take care of them. which makes sense, right? This way you are using this to like also worship God. Again, I say that I'm not here to preach, but I really need to like just explain this, right? And again, it says it cannot be just. In fact, it is strictly always advisable that you should stick with one woman. One. Bere, you will not die if you do. Trust me, you will not. Nothing will do you. You'll be very fine. But the reason why I'm doing all of this, the reason why I'm saying all of this is just to like clear the air about this analogy. I mean, in fact, there is nothing to clear. Everybody knows. Everybody, anybody in their right senses knows that this is total nonsense. That it makes no sense at all. Like it doesn't even fit when it comes to justifying things. And the problem with this is that people have turned marrying more than one woman into, sorry, I do not have a better word for it, but into a legalized fornication. We all know that if we are believers, whether you are a Muslim or a Christian, in this case Muslim, that fornication is really a bad thing. But then when it comes to having multiple wives, people have now turned into something that they use as a form of legalized fornication. God forgive me, but that is the only way I see it. You will ask someone randomly, why did you choose to marry another wife when there is nothing wrong with the wife at home? She's totally fine. She's doing everything you want. She loves you. She's taking care of your kids. And then they will tell you it's because they can afford it. And I'm wondering, bag it bikini, because I don't understand. It is not about being able to afford it. It's not about having money. It is about actually using this as a means of worshiping. Some people do it for the sake of God. But trust me, I would say that 90% of some of these men do not do it for the sake of anybody but the sake of themselves. My roommate one time once told me that her father told her specifically, "Pay, if a man should marry only you, he loves you. If he should marry more than one wife, then he loves himself." So I don't know how you want to justify this as that. Why do I feel like this is going the way I do not want it to go? But this is what we are here to. This is what we are here to discuss. This is what we are here to break down. And it is that this analogy is zero. It is crazy. It is not even making any form of sense. And because of this, I'm now using it to enter the fact that people also say this statement of it is because they can afford it. Meanwhile, there are so many rules and regulations that needs to be abided by when you're married more than one woman. It is not like something of I can do it then just because I can, then I want to. It is something you have to put into consideration before you decide to go into it. Marrying more than one wife is permissible, but it's permissible with strict conditions. It's not something that should become a status flex. And if you ask me, that is what many people use it for nowadays. In fact, I watched an interview of a woman that clearly said that the reason why, she knows very well that the reason why her husband opted to marry another woman after he has married her being the first wife is because this man has a really huge behind. Her word, not mine. And if you ask me, is that also a form of worshipping, or is it also a form of helping humanity, or it's just a way of you satisfying your own urge? If you're going to do this, do it in a way that makes sense. If you're going to justify it, just do it in a way that makes sense. Do not go about spewing nonsense just because you can. Because God gave you mouth to talk, now you just open it and be saying whatever you think you can say just because you can. It is totally not cool and it doesn't make any sense. And the painful part for me this day was that the person that this man was discussing it with is a woman. So me, I was expecting some form of, cautioning or correcting, but then I wasn't getting anything. The woman just sat there and she was nodding. In fact, I should be angry because of that one alone. The woman just sat there and she was just nodding. And me, I was expecting somebody to talk, but it was just me that they were not even talking to that was angry. In as much as it is something that men can do just because they can do it, it's also important to consider the women involved also before you go into these things. Not just because you can, then you do it. If you can marry one wife and be comfortable with it, then please do. You don't have to go about marrying multiple women just because you want to flex or you want to make people see you as being a man. The way being a man doesn't have to do with marrying multiple women, right? There are so many things you can do for you to be a man, for people to recognize you as being a man. You're already a man even without doing these things, because naturally there are already so many responsibilities that you're carrying already. So marrying multiple women doesn't justify that you're a man. You're already man and you are man enough. Anybody that doesn't like it should go and enter water and die. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but I just had to say it. Anyways, you guys, I feel like we've come to the end of this discussion, and in as much as I feel like it didn't exactly go the way I want it to, I hope you pick one or two things, and if you have any opinion, I would really love to hear it. And my comment section is really open for you to drop your thoughts, your opinion. I will be replying you. I will reply comments in every comments made, every opinion, whatever it is I have to say, anything, just anything, just say it, and maybe we can pick up the discussion from there, or even do like an updated video to elaborate this more. But yes, the point is that I'm not here to preach, I'm not here to tell you what to do or what not to do. I'm just here to debunk this analogy, which is so stupid, because comparing these two things is like, I mean, can you imagine? Let's just say because a man marries a woman now, and the first child, let's assume she intended to give birth to one, and then she gave birth to two, right? Would you, because of that, go and marry another woman just because she has a child already? It doesn't make sense. Or a man would say, and at the end of the day, these children are not even ours alone. They are yours, like you people's children. So why should you, because of that, say because she has multiple children already, you should also go and get another wife? If we are justifying it by this, which totally doesn't make any sense, then I feel like the man should also be confident enough to say, oh, because I already have so much children for you, now I don't want to marry you again, I want to divorce you and go on ahead to marry another man, because at least we are not given the privilege as women in Islam to marry more than one man at the same time, right? I'll see you guys in my next video, and until then, please stay blooming. Bye.